This podcast is brought to you by It Works. What is It Works? It's a Christian-based company that specializes in health and wellness with a variety of products with natural ingredients, including green supplements, keto support, daily skincare, and beauty products, and weight loss solutions. Best known for the Skinny Wrap, Slimming Gummies, and the Skinny Brew Coffee, which I can personally recommend and say it works. If you're looking for improved youthful looking skin, better digestive health, and a stronger immune system, weight loss with internal cleansing and body detoxification, and enhanced focus, mood, and energy, It Works can work for you. Go to ashleyperry.itworks.com and sign up now to become a loyal customer. Take the 90-day challenge and receive a 40% discount. Or, if you're interested in starting your side hustle, join now to become a distributor. Own your time and become a social media influencer working in your PJs right from your phone. Visit ashleyperry.itworks.com and watch It Works work for you today.
FX presents the Indu Podcast with your host, T. Sterling Watson.
Good morning, Indubians. I'm T. Sterling Watson.
And I'm Kortney.
This is the Indu Podcast, where morning drive time meets late night talk show as we aim to entertain, enlighten, and provide an auditory escape with nonsense. Thank you for stopping by and pressing play. I'm going to sound like a robot there. We're recording live from the south side of Wakanda in the little new Indubia on the corner of T'Chaka and MLK Drive. Kortney, how are you doing today?
I am doing so well. How are you?
I am well as well, although I feel like I want to come back to how I'm feeling just so I can kind of recap how the last few days have been in a kind of almost waxing poetic kind of way, just so I can work in a phrase that really kind of encapsulates. There you go. Thank you so much. The fact that I had trouble saying that word will bring me to the first point I would like to make, which is more of an apology to our dear listeners from last episode. That is, if anybody noticed, I know Kortney and I had discussed it afterwards, and then I think even the following night. And that's basically, I am not someone who can probably drink and podcast at the same time. So especially if that particular wine happens to be just a little bit stronger than usual. So, because I felt myself either being a little cloudy or just trouble getting some of those words out. And all I really had was like maybe one or two sips.
Bliss.
I know. And I don't know. And we discussed it offline, but basically, as you kind of told me, some wines are just built differently than others because that's never really happened to me before. So also, it was my first time doing it on the podcast too. I've never had like a sip before recording, and then like, ooh, okay, feeling a little light here. Yeah.
Well, we survived it. You survived it. It's all good. I bet no one noticed but you.
That's probably very true. Even though in my head, I'm like, oh, I just butchered that word, even though I do that already. Like I have a hard time sometimes saying certain words like, oh, wow. I've forgotten the word.
Prestidigitations.
It wasn't that word. It was the word encapsulate.
Encapsulate.
Yes. Encapsulate. Yes. Yeah. So just wanted to throw that out there, even though, again, most people probably, like you said, didn't notice, but I didn't feel like I was on top of my game, and that was the reason why. So if ever like we're doing a live show, and I'm calling it to be that we will be doing more live shows like out in front of people and such. And I think of this because I was listening to the live episode of The Black Guy Who Tips. And it was his birthday. So he was celebrating, and then I guess he was drinking whatever he was drinking, and he had some issues kind of reading, but you would never really tell unless he actually told you, which he did, which, kind of just added to the hilarity of what was happening at that time. So for me, the drink of choice is usually something with caffeine in it, because that actually helps me like be a little bit quicker and really on top of my game, sometimes seeing 3 or 4 moves ahead, as if podcasting was playing chess. And I just see like all the numbers and figures just all in front of me, like many of the memes that we like to use when, we're thinking. So yeah, good to know. Or for those that are always curious about me, I'm like, okay, wine is do not drink in pod, but coffee is good. The only problem with that is that we usually record later in the evenings, so it's not necessarily the best idea for me to be having coffee at like 6 or 7 p.m.
Right.
So
that's got to have some adverse effects as well.
It does, because I'm not really excited to go to sleep. Like I might want to, but I'm like, no, we're not going to go to sleep. Let's go to sleep. Come on, let's not do that. Let's not. So, but hey, the good news is that it helps me to edit maybe faster. So I don't know. But since we are talking words, I figured we might as well just go ahead and get into a word watch, because words. So, oh wait, I didn't do that part yet. Because I was about to play a sound effect that nobody would hear because I did not turn that on. So please allow me to get that portion of it ready. Sorry, I felt like I was losing my voice a little bit. I, again, shared with Kortney before we started that I made myself some chicken that was just a little spicy. I'm like, oh, wow.
Gotta watch for that spicy chicken.
I know. I mean, it's good. It's juicy. It's flavorful. Shout out to Air Fryer Nation, because that's how I was prepared. So yes, let's get into Word Watch.
Word Watch.
So our word today is laculin. Trying to say it how it's written, pronounced. Laculin. No, wait, no. Laculin. Right. Because I practiced earlier today.
Okay.
Is this word familiar with you whatsoever?
No. Are you supposed to break it down into those syllables like that?
I didn't mean to, but because the way I underlined it, I couldn't help but do it that way. Gotcha. Laculin. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put invisible hyphens. Laculin.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. No, I don't know that word.
Okay. Now, from my research, every time it's used, it's capitalized. So I will spell it for those who are at home with pen and paper handy. And it's L, or rather capital L, UCULLAN. And the definition for this is extremely luxurious, but usually pertaining to food. So food specifically, yes.
Okay, so like luxurious food.
Pretty much, yes.
Bougie food, basically.
You could even say bougie food. And then that kind of made me think, and again, this was early in the morning when I came across this word, so I couldn't quite think of too many of examples at the time. So I'm going to throw out one, maybe you can throw out another, and then we kind of just ramp up the luxuriousness of what this word could possibly be associated with. So I decided to go with lobster, but not just lobster, because as many people know the history of lobster, it wasn't always a luxurious food. Because, it didn't start out that way. Like back in, I don't know, I'm going to guess this part, maybe the 20s. I don't know. But because it was like, I don't want to say plentiful, but it was just, they're the cockroaches of the sea.
They are. Yeah. No, that's crawdads.
Okay.
Right?
They are the rodents of this. Either way, they're down with the creepy crawlies, and they're like giant bugs. So
they do, with like antenna and everything. But they're really good though.
They are. It took me a while to get around to actually eating them, and then be like, oh, okay. Because I was super picky as a child. That's probably no surprise. But to make this even more luxurious, And I think if anything, I was just thinking of price, like really pricey food.
Mhm.
And sometimes if you smoke a meat, that tends to raise the price of something because it takes a long time to smoke things. So I'm thinking smoked
that would make
lobster.
sense. Yeah.
Which I've never had, but I would love to try it. But I'm pretty sure it's expensive.
I've never even heard of smoked lobster, but
Neither have I.
I do feel like that makes sense to, I don't know, do it,
Because I was
Makes
thinking of
sense to me.
smoked salmon and how I go
Yeah.
to a fair, and maybe it's because it's at a fair, that's why it costs so much. But it's like smoked salmon on a stick, but it's absolutely delicious, and I'm willing to pay $7 for this little fillet of like salmon that I could probably do at home if I had a smoker, and I don't. So
Right, but yeah, you don't have to, you're paying for the experience as well. You're paying for someone else doing it, someone else doing it right.
true.
You're at the fair, so that's a whole different experience and everything. So you're paying for not just the food, but for everything that comes with it, I think. But anyways, back to the lobster though. Come on.
Right. And I wasn't sure if I had it smoked, if that counts as being LaCullen or not.
I mean, who's the judge to see or to determine what's LaCullen or not?
I don't know. And what they had as an example, like they had a picture of some caviar, and I don't know if it was in a glass dish or if it was in a dish made of ice. Because I mean, that looked it's like,
is it served in ice? I don't know.
I don't know. I've never had it. I know what they are, but and just the fact that like, I mean, it's fish eggs, but I'm like,
no.
It just doesn't sound appetizing once you put it that way. I don't know.
Right. I don't know.
So maybe if you served like salmon on some kind of like luxurious ice, maybe that might be more. I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe whatever the queen might eat when she's at home or chilling or something. It's like, no, bring me some caviar. I'm assuming she's 182. She's 182. I don't know what she sounds like, but I'm pretty sure at
least that.
And I mean, I should have an idea. I have watched The Crown. I'm not sure I agree with them winning all the Emmys that they did, but here we are. So, but bring on the next season and let's get into that madness of royalty. And by the way, I'm just putting it out there on the record. I am not a fan of the royals in that way. It was just a show everyone talked about. And I'm like, oh, let me check it out. I'm like, oh, wow, this is actually pretty interesting. So, but I don't follow the royals in that way. It was just an interesting show. Carry on.
I like how you have to put that disclaimer out there.
I did. I felt like I needed to because people would come up to me. I was just assuming like, oh, how do you feel about like Prince Harry doing such and such, and they went to this thing. I'm like, I don't care. I don't. And I have to say it out loud because my phone is nearby, and it, as you know, it's listening.
It listens.
And for a good while, it kept showing me news about the royals. And I'm like, I don't care. It's just like that. I don't know if you've ever seen on Twitter, there's this short little audio clip, not an audio clip, it's an actual video of Earl Sweatshirt. Kind of just, he keeps saying to the camera, I don't care. I don't care. And then it's just the way he says it. I love it. If you've never seen it, I'll send it to you later. But
I don't think I've seen it. You're going to need to send that.
yes. Because it just again, encapsulates how I feel about the royals. Yet I will still watch this. And I don't think I'm going to watch the movie Spencer or the Spencers.
I think it's just Spencer.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's just Spencer. I don't know. Like I feel some type of way.
So do I. Because I've always go on.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I've always had like a casual crush on K-Stew. Just because she just has this really kind of like easygoingness about her, and just the eyes, and just
Okay, yeah. You don't think she can pull this off?
I mean,
roll off?
I honestly, I don't know. I'm pulling for him. Like, hey, go for it. I believe in you. So, but I don't feel the urge or the need to see this film because I don't care.
tell us how you really feel.
I'm torn. I'll put it that way. Because I'm not that big of a fan where I see all of her movies. So
you just like her like as a person, not so much as an actress.
Correct. I mean, she's decent. Like she was. I hear judgment.
No, the people want to know. And I'm the people. It's me. Okay. I'm the people.
Well, for the people, I'm going to say she does a decent job of with acting. And I know people might be thinking of her Twilight days. I mean, you can go. Yes. If you want to see a complete contrast of that, where if you feel like she has no emotion, she's just there, then check out the Charlie's Angels reboot. Again, it's a. Really? I mean, I'm saying again, and I haven't even said what I mean to say, which I will get into in a moment. But it's a movie nobody asked for, but for what it's worth, it was entertaining.
Okay,
and she looks like she's having the time of her life. And it's a complete opposite of what she did in Twilight. I mean, she did what she had to do in Twilight, but in this movie, she's also doing the most in a good way. So
I may have to just take your word for it. I specifically didn't watch Charlie's Angels because I'm not a huge fan of Charlie's Angels. I mean, they're all right, but it's a reboot, and you know how I feel about that. So,
and it's not a glowing recommendation either. So I'm not telling you to go out to see this. I'm just saying if you happen to see it, or you just happen to be, channel surfing, which you don't do, and I don't either because we don't have cable. But
cable,
if it just happens to be on, I'm like, oh, okay. And then that's kind of how I felt after I saw it. I'm like, oh, okay. Didn't hate it. Wasn't terrible. I didn't feel like I wasted my time. But hey, it's not a decent, not a bad.
If one of the streaming services decides to put it on or whatever, or decides to offer it, then I would not say no necessarily. I'm also not super compelled to say yes.
It would be an impulse watch. Like you turn on, let's say it's on Netflix, and then you happen to scroll by and like, it's like this, like what's all the stuff that's in your queue. But then all of a sudden this pops up as like, hey, just added. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not doing anything. I'm just eating my Cheetos and just like, just chilling. So it's a movie to put on in the background and then kind of perk up every once in a while. Like, oh, spy mission. Cool. Like, oh, she just jumped out of a plane. Awesome. And then you're back to, sewing or typing.
Whatever else.
Right, right. As we're talking about reboots, I'm going to make you work a little bit because I have some breaking news for you. So.
Okay.
Just announced today, or rather just premiered, is the trailer for Home Sweet Home Alone.
What is that? What is that?
They are rebooting the Home Alone franchise.
Oh God.
And as far as I can tell, oh my God, Macaulay Culkin is nowhere near this or involved, and that's a shame.
Doesn't want to. He probably has no. He's been trying to shed that good boy image for so long.
I feel like he has. He's in the new American Horror. Horror Story, right.
Yeah. Well, but I feel like he's just, I mean, he's kind of fallen into the trap of that many child actors tend to do, where they're typecast and they're only known for that thing that they did when they were 8, and so he wants to shed that. And I feel like he's done everything in his power to do that.
I feel like he was successful at it because he's definitely been in other things since.
But also just in his personal life, he's had some roller coasters.
True. This is very true. So
I don't know, but also a reboot, another one. Like,
I mean, who asked for this?
There's other stories to be told. Why do we need to redo things that are dang near perfect?
The first 2 were good. Were good. I liked.
The third.
I think I liked it. Yeah, I don't acknowledge the 3rd or 4th, and possibly 5th.
Oh, there's a 4th.
There's a 4th. I only found out because I happened to be during. I was somewhere where there was cable, and it came up on whatever the Family Channel is now. I don't know what they call it. It might have been Freeform.
Oh, it used to be like ABC. It used to be Used to be ABC Family. Used to be something Fox Family, maybe.
We're showing our age here, but yes. I mean, prior to that, I do. Like it started out as like the Family Channel. Then it was
it was
Fox
just the
Family.
Channel. Yeah.
Then ABC Family.
And then maybe Freeform. I don't know.
Yeah, which we're like, what is this? Is it for a family? I need something for my family. So
it doesn't say yes or no for family.
Right.
What
exactly. And then it started showing like edgy content for like older teens. So I'm like,
right.
I can't watch this with my family. So because Grownish was there. I mean, no offense to Grownish, but that's not something you would. I don't think even as a parent you might want to watch with your teen unless you're really super cool with a lot of things that go on with that show. So no judgment.
Gotcha.
No judgment. I'm just saying.
Just an observation.
Observation. And so definitely not for the little children. Like, is that what happens in college? Like, move away, child. So,
right.
But yeah, I don't know how many Home Alones there are, just like I don't know how many Land Before Times there are. I'm guessing 87 of those just come out with a series already. More breaking news.
Sorry. I didn't know I had needed to do it again.
Yeah, I was telling you, I had a bunch of breaking news for you. So yeah.
Oh, so I have to do it every time? Come on, it is a lot of work.
I was telling you. I mean, got this is what you're here for. I need breaking news. Anyway, the trailer for Scream 5 came out, I think either today or yesterday. Yeah. And it's
I'll be skipping it, but you know.
Oh yeah, so will I. I mean,
I'm happy for the fandom.
It was like, good job. You're still in it, and the main cast is still alive.
I can't believe. That's so cool.
I mean,
like it's cool.
It is. It's just a matter of time. I feel like how is this going to end? Like, do you? I mean, I thought there was a conclusion or some kind of wrap up, and how much more family members that that does Sydney have to come out of the woodwork? Like I'm your twice cousin once removed because of like you killed my stepbrother's father or what? I don't know. And
right.
And I'm not saying that's the plot of this one. I have no idea. I don't think it really matters, but I don't know. And it's supposedly supposed to be bloodier. I'm like, really? How much blood does the human body have? Or does that mean like the body count will be higher?
Yeah. Who knows?
Gonna slice up a whole school bus or something. I don't know. City bus, not school bus.
I was about to say, now we're talking Final Fantasy type stuff.
Final Destination?
Final Destination. Not Final Fantasy.
Although in my head I was thinking The Faculty, which I think there is a school bus scene, but that's about alien body snatchers. So
yeah.
Totally different kind of horror.
That movie.
I only remember because it came up on Usher that podcast. Usher was in it, yes. And Too Scary did an episode on it recently. So
I can listen because I remember seeing it and it wasn't scary. It was, if I remember correctly, it was just dumb. But I mean, it's been a while and I could have blocked all these memories out. Who knows?
It's possible. And it was an interesting concept. And I think it was from Robert Rodriguez, I think, he was famous for many other things and does dabble in horror here and there. So, but yes, Scream 5, which is not called Scream 5, it's called Scream, which is confusing.
But why aren't they all called that?
Well, they are, but they have numbers after them. Except this one, because there's Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, and then Scream.
Are you sure?
Yes,
you sure?
I am confident because that was the title after they did the trailers nonsense and whatnot. And then Scream. I'm like, I'm waiting for like a number to appear like in blood or something, but no, it's just Scream.
It's just Scream.
Like, okay. Can we at least maybe get a year? So that way it was like Scream 2021. So I'm like, okay, great.
Right. So that's a new one. Yeah.
Right. So we know it's not the first one, and we know this is not Scream Part 2000 to 2021.
Right.
Because how else are we going to differentiate which Scream we're talking about here? Now, I'm not going to make you do breaking news again for this one, but I did have to break the news to my lovely wife about Halloween Kills, which is the sequel to Halloween, which is a direct sequel to Halloween. Did I lose you?
Say it one more time.
Okay. So coming out actually this week is Halloween Kills, which is the sequel. It's the sequel to Halloween.
After. Okay.
Which came out a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a direct sequel to Halloween, which came out a couple decades ago.
So they're making us think too hard. Like, why are we just repeating the same? Why are we just repeating the same names? Like, I mean, it's one thing to have sequels and things and to have different, but at least like switch up the titles so we can tell things apart.
Can I give you a brain cramp for a quick second?
Sure.
Because I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't include going back to Scream for a second. Over on MTV, when they're not showing music videos, they actually came out with a Scream series called Scream.
Oh, like a TV show, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they called it Scream. Yep.
Yeah.
So I have no idea if it's connected to the movies at all, but just wanted to throw that in there just to help, stir the pot of like, not only are rebooting things, but we're not going to change the name whatsoever to make it, any easier for you. And last breaking news. Thank you so much. And tonight, as we're recording, premieres Chucky, the TV series, which is called Chucky.
What?
Yeah.
Why, God? Why? Okay. Why? Okay. Maybe it's just because I'm not that much of a horror fan. And so, no, but I would be this way with any other reboot, any other extra, show or whatever. I just.
I know what we're saying, but we are also the same people who just like 2 episodes ago got hyped up for Matrix : Reboot. So.
Yep, it's on my calendar and everything.
And I mean, I don't want to say that they missed it by they could have called it that, because that's what it is. And it is a computer term as well. And, or they could have just made the word longer, rebootification. I don't, just something to say, hey, we're in on it. We know we're rebooting it. That's the point. Or so I don't know. So far, that's the only reboot remake that I'm looking forward to. I'm not calling that one a remake, but that's what what is it? The Lost World was. Not the Lost World. Jurassic World.
But they did have one called The Lost World, I thought.
They did. That was part 2.
Oh, the good one. No, that's one of the bad ones. The good one is Jurassic Park 3.
That's a good one?
Yeah. What? Huh? Yes. What?
I haven't seen it in so long, but I think it was during that time I was looking for the familiar characters that I was familiar with from the first 2. In fact, I don't even really remember who was in the third one. So,
oh my God, that's the one they were at Isla Sorna, and the little boy. Shush, the little boy.
Did you watch this yesterday?
No, I didn't watch it yesterday. It's just engraved in my memory. What are you talking about?
The way you're recalling it just now is if you just watched it.
Because it's the good one. Number 2 was not the good one. It did have Jeff Goldblum and his black daughter, so that was a plus. But that's literally all I remember from that movie. And they were in LA, and the dinosaurs somehow made it to LA, and it was just dumb.
And they ate a dog, right?
I think they maybe ate a dog. The dinosaurs did?
I think so.
Okay. Yes.
And I do remember that one because
Daniel's around and he's nodding his head. They apparently did eat a dog.
Confirmation. Yeah. Okay. Because I remember that happening. I'm like, oh my God. And I was on a bus. Like at the time I was on a bus watching this movie. I'm like, did you see the dog? And so that's
so many reasons why that movie sucked. Right. So anyway, but number 3 is the one with the little boy on Isla Sorna. And what's his name? Dr. Alan Grant didn't want to go there because he's like, I don't want to deal with these dinosaurs again.
Oh, so this is the one he was on the plane and then he had a dream that the dinosaur was talking to him.
But the dinosaur wasn't talking to him. It was just a dream. But that dinosaur showed up later on, like, cause the egg and stuff. Basically the other little boy stole the egg. Anyways, this is spoilers, but I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, that's not my problem. But yeah, that's the good one.
Very well. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. Because I can't. I remember bits and pieces of it, just like I remember the second one, bits and pieces. Even though, because of our good friend Nisha, who, like, I think she defended the second one. I really do, but
Probably.
that was my reason for going back to watch it.
That sounds on brand for her.
Yeah,
Love you, Nisha.
Yeah, we love you dearly. So. But it's just reboot season, and I feel like I keep hearing about them every other day, and I'm like, oh. And also shout out to our other good friend Candace, who also just hates the fact that there are so many reboots and remakes. Like, let us just go back to some originality. Yes,
go to some originality. Let us have our classics and make some new stuff. Like, that's okay if you do that. We're not going to be mad. We'll actually appreciate that a whole lot if you just make new stuff that we haven't seen before.
The Home Alone reboot had the nerve to say some classics like need to be broken or something like that. I don't know. Some nonsense that I'm like, I can't. I don't want to.
Did they want to bring in the audience that made it, make the franchise what it is? Like, did they want that? Because they're not talking and acting like they want that.
I don't.
Like, my blood pressure is rising at just the thought of that.
Let me make your blood pressure rise a little bit more and go back to
such a good friend.
Laculla. Oh, wow, I can't even say the word again now. Lacullan. There we go. Yeah. Luckaland. I'm probably keep saying it different each time.
Luckaland? Yeah, you do. You do.
Lucky Land. No, Lacullan. There we go. I also wrote down truffle bacon. I don't know what it is, but it seems like it would be something extremely luxurious. Like, you have to be, you have to be part of that 1% in order to get it. Like, you probably would have to be president of, like, United States, and then they can only get it for you once a year because it costs so much.
That's pretty luxurious.
I don't even know what it is. I just kind of wrote it down. Like, truffles are expensive. I know that. Bacon. Yeah. And somehow maybe it's made with, like, truffles, or it's, like, ground up, or it's, like, I don't know. Infused.
With bacon or with truffles?
Both. Like, you infuse the bacon with truffles, and then you take that bacon and infuse it in a truffle, and then infuse it back into another piece of bacon.
Wow, that's a lot of infusing.
It is.
Can you infuse things that many times?
I don't know, but they figured out a way to do it, and it's very expensive.
Okay.
So that's why you can only have it once a year if you're the president, or
if you're the president of the
US,
Elon
Musk.
Of any.
Yeah.
Well, he can go to the moon. So
I mean, I was going to name Jeff Bezos, but it really doesn't matter. They're all terrible people, apparently. So
yes.
Unless they're giving, give me money.
Unless they're going to sponsor this episode.
Exactly. I mean, Elon Musk, he's not that bad. Like, I mean, come on.
Neither is. No, I can't say. I can't. I'm over it.
I like getting my packages as early as I do.
I do appreciate that good service. I really do.
Like, they bring it to my apartment door, and they don't really need to. They're not. I don't want to say they're not supposed to, but I mean, they do. So I'm like, hey, that's less of a walk I have to go to the mailroom because it's here, right in front of my door. I just have to open my door and just take my package. No pants required. Right. I mean, most times I have pants on, but I'm just saying if I didn't, then I wouldn't have to. So I'm good.
That would be your business, and you could just get your package in peace.
Shoes. No shoes required.
No shoes required for sure.
Definitely need my shoes if I'm going down the hallway to up those gross stairs. And yeah. Because they are gross.
Not everybody washes the bottom of their feet. So
exactly. And I wasn't going to get into it, but I couldn't wait to leave work today because that was a very loud conversation going on the other side of the room. Now, yet again, dear listener, Kortney and I have conversations sometimes when we're at work, so she can overhear these people, and she can confirm, like, they can be a bit.
They're quite loud.
Yeah,
animated.
Animated is a good word. Yes, animated. So I was going to say one day, it was today. I don't know how this conversation started. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I was ready to go. I don't care. But somehow the conversation got to them talking about washing their feet and how one person was very disturbed by any time when they're washing their own feet and their fingers go between their toes in order to wash.
That disturbs them?
It disturbs them. It creeps them out. I don't understand why. I don't know why.
It's like their toes, though.
I don't know. I'm like, oh, I'm ready to leave.
Does it tickle them? Is it the sensation they don't like?
It must be the sensation. They didn't say tickling. And I'm like, what is so weird about that? And then they it kept going. They kept going. That was weird enough. But then they're like, I have an issue like washing my belly button. Like they wash it, but it's just weird for them to do so. Like it's weird. Like, and then somebody else chimed in and was like, yeah, I scrub every hole in my body. I'm like, okay, that's enough.
Ew,
like, this
is normally worse.
This is normally when I put up like, that's enough internet for today. But this was real life. Like this is an open room conversation. Conversation was happening with like 10 people. One person was, at his computer doing his work. I don't think they were paying attention. But me, I'm just sitting here counting down the time I can leave because I'm like, I need to leave. This is too much. So this is happening at full volume, by the way, just
for anybody to walk up on and be subjected to. Correct.
Like this is a place of business. And you're discussing your hygiene habit. I mean, I'm glad you're all washing. I'm glad you're all bathing.
That's important.
It is. It truly is. And I was far enough away where I couldn't see what was happening, but I wouldn't doubt anyone lifted up their shirt to say, look, my belly button's clean. I don't know if that happened. I don't want to know, but I would not be surprised if it did.
Ew.
So yeah, that happened. Back to food. Just diverting everything back. I do want to put a plug in for my Patreon and just put it feelers out there. Like if anyone would be interested in watching me make food or prepare food. I'm not a chef. In fact, I'm going to make that part of like the title, like not a chef, but here's what I made kind of thing, but shorten it because I've made a spice rub, which my parents absolutely love. And they're trying not to use too much of it because they won't have any more. I'm like, guys, I can make more of it. Just let me know. But my whole thing is making seasonings that don't have salt so I can control the salt.
Nice.
And as you just said, making your blood pressure rise, I'm trying to help lower blood pressures by not including salt. Because if you look at a lot of the seasonings I'm talking to people who season their food. If you look at a lot of the seasonings, usually the first thing is salt in there. And that bothers me. And I'm like, I need seasonings that don't like salt is not the first thing because I still want my food to taste good. And I will add salt, but I want to be in control of how much salt I add to it.
Yeah.
So I made a barbecue rub. Like that's the only thing that I have made, and I made it regularly. So I need to make another batch. But I figured I might as well record myself making it, and then I can post it on Patreon. So if anybody wants to make it themselves, they can just follow my routine, mix it up a little bit how you like to do your own thing. But here's my quote unquote recipe on how to make saltless barbecue rub.
I would love to know that. Do I have to subscribe to the Patreon to do so?
You would have to subscribe to the Patreon to do so. I think I'll even keep it at $1. But if you want to contribute more, then by all means I will do so. I mean, if someone like gave me $50, I'll just send them a bottle. I'll find a way. And like here, like I won't even. Yeah, you don't even try to make it yourself. I'll make it for you. And here's a bottle and enjoy. And if you want more, then I'm not saying each bottle will cost $50, but that's just my way of saying thank you, because that definitely comes in handy at times when I got a family to feed and I have more ingredients to buy. I've got chicken to season with my saltless barbecue rub. And I don't just put on that. I usually put on ribs too, and anything you normally put a dry rub on. So I think it even works with salmon. I don't remember if I tried it. I do have to make some more anyway. That, and I also make a bacon seasoning. Yes.
Ooh, that sounds good.
So
I don't even know
those,
what it is or what it's for.
I know you're just excited. So
Yeah,
those who
you said
have,
bacon.
I know, those who have frequented Dunkin' Donuts, they'd have this thing called snack and bacon. Now, when they first introduced it, it was like sweet black pepper bacon. And I was trying my hardest to recreate this recipe. And then one day I happened to go on the website and they said it right there. I'm like, oh yeah, we use maple sugar and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, great. But because I tried so many different ways to make this bacon, I've come up with my own snack and bacon, if you will. And my lovely son has rebranded it to Slammin' Bacon. So if you want a Slammin' Bacon recipe, I can also show you how to make that, since I also need to make more of that.
Nice. See, look at that. Father-son team in action.
Now they prefer, I say they, both my wife and my kid, they prefer that I make it in the oven, baking the bacon that way, but it takes so long. And it's basically candy-fied bacon that they're looking for. But I just put it in the air fryer, put a little dash of the Slammin' Bacon seasoning that I made, and we're good to go. Everybody's happy, and it's delicious.
I mean, I'm actually really hungry now. Thanks for bringing that up and making it so that I cannot taste it right now.
Slammin' Bacon. And it almost doesn't matter which kind of bacon. It could be hickory smoked. It could be applewood smoked, or, just whatever. I haven't tried on turkey bacon. I don't particularly care for turkey bacon, but it might make it taste better. It's not even it's not even the taste. Sometimes it's just the texture.
Yeah.
So, just chewy. But yeah,
I mean, it's
really
supposed
good
to be better for you, but is it really in the long run? Lies
and deceit. So next we shall go to the do I want to? Yeah, okay. We'll go. That's right. We're going to the Spookums zone. Well, I mean, it is spooky season, so how can I not? Right? Yeah, perhaps. So I have a story for you, Kortney, and dear listener. They asked to remain anonymous, so I'm not going to divulge who told me this story, but it is a story related to the story that I told you last time about being at work and some male presence just kind of, coming up to me. Hey, I keep doing the motion as if you can see me, but it's just someone coming over to say, hey. So my dear friend had told me, I'm going to, let's call her Jane. Jane is at home. Her husband has gone to work for the night, and she's by herself in the dark, sleeping, resting peacefully in the quiet. And she kind of hears just off in the distance, like a, hey, 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 like it gets a little bit louder. And then suddenly, hey, like just, right up on her, in her face. Like she feels the breath. She feels a presence there yelling at her. And it startles her awake. Like, that area of sleep where that someone just said something to you. It startles you. Yeah, that's what happened with her. And she felt like someone was there. And she gets up and does what any rational person will do and kind of look around to see like, hey, who was there? Who said that? And she goes looking out I don't want to say she looks out the window, but the window is open. There's a window above like her window. It is open. She feels around the curtains because she is too afraid to open the curtains to see if someone is there or if someone is not there. But she feels around the curtains to close the window. Goes down the hall to, I think, turn on the kitchen light just because, again, it's dark. She goes and makes sure all the doors are locked. One of them is actually not because one of her kids left the door open, or not open, but unlocked, and even follows up with them the next day. And they're like, yeah, it wasn't us, but we should definitely sage the house. Just, keep it safe.
Yeah.
And she is freaked out, and legitimately so. And and she kind of put it out of her head since, or does the best that she can. But for that particular day, when she told me, she was just kind of on edge, just because she wanted to tell someone who, would understand and kind of relate to her. So I'm like, wow, okay. And it was definitely quite a story. Like, I could feel the terror that she felt when she was telling it to me. So yeah,
that's freaky.
Definitely more extreme than what I went through, because it was just a gentle, hey, was it the same person? I don't know. She is hoping, not hoping, but like, she has no idea who it could have been. She did give me some follow-up stories as to other things it could be related to it, and including one of her sons recently had broken up with someone who like dabbles in some kind of extracurricular spirituality, and was kind of bitter about the breakup. So possibly may have sent something. Who knows? She had gotten a phone call, I think either a day before, and someone insisting like, this person wants to speak to you, or you need to call this person or talk to this person. I forgot exactly how it went, but it was like, she was like, yeah, I don't know this person. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know whoever this is. And yeah, it was very odd. Like they kept calling too. So, and there was one other instance. I did not write it down. I don't remember what it was, but it was also just very, very peculiar, very strange. So I thanked her for her story. And then I also prayed for her. I don't know if she knew that part, but I prayed for her and for her safety and safety of her family, because I don't know if it's wow. I want to say malignant. That's not, yes. Wait, what did you say?
Malevolent?
Yes, malevolent.
No, benevolent is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, benevolent. That's what I am. Malicious.
Yes, malicious is what I'm trying to say.
But I'm still thinking of one that starts with an M that sounds like benevolent. What is what is her name? She plays the movie. Maleficent. Okay. That's not even a word. That's just her name.
No, but I want to say it's based off of a real word. That's why I said malevolent, but that doesn't track either.
Well, we're gonna find this word, because it's right there. Malevolent. I swear there's no wine involved in the recording of this episode.
No, malevolent is a real word. Okay. Malevolent is a real, okay.
Right, because it almost looks like the word violent is in there, but it's not. So
yeah,
malevolent. Wow. We're going to move on. It's not a bad or evil spirit. We're praying for it, and it goes away. She even said, please go away. I don't want you here. Like at that night. So things have been put in motion. As far as I know, nothing has happened since. So I've not followed up with her, but yeah. So again, Jane, I thank you for your story. She did tell me, like, you can tell the story, but keep me anonymous. I'm like, all right, no problem. So
yeah.
So yeah, that was hopefully keep you up a little bit up at night, just to keep a light on.
Thank you.
Because she said that her kids have the TV on because they've experienced things previously, like in past houses. Ooh, so they never go to sleep with like anything. Like completely on. Right. Some kind of white noise. And I mean, I do the same, not for that reason. I just kind of need the noise, because sometimes the silence actually just freaks me out, and I'll wake up like, what was that? So yeah. And now we'll do something we haven't done in a while, and we're going to go to Sheboygan.
Good morning, Sheboygan.
Now, this actually isn't a happy or fun story. I couldn't find any. This one just kind of kept coming up. And I really kind of thought about putting this in the Florida or Florida don't category, because I was just going to give you the headline. And I've read it so many times that I don't even need to read it now. But a 16-year-old was stabbed by a 15-year-old.
Oh.
During a planned fight.
Wait, what?
And the 15-year-old was going to leave on a plane, but was caught by authorities.
What? Okay, so they planned a fight. Which like what? And then two, the 15-year-old was gonna go on a plane. Was that also planned, or was that?
I guess maybe it didn't quite go the way he expected. And for me, as I was just taking in just the first part of the story, I'm like, what is this? The Outsiders? Because I had, for whatever reason was thinking about that book / movie and how that was like a real jump off point for a lot of actors in it. But yeah, it was quite interesting and how it made a bunch of news outlets. Like I couldn't find any other thing to like, well, what good happened like yesterday? And yeah, it was just news about the stabbing. So yes, it was a planned fight. I'm assuming, how high schoolers do, like, hey, I'm gonna meet you like 3:00 at the flagpole. So, and
okay.
So that's what I'm assuming would happen. And then somebody was like, you know what? I ain't going out with no punk. And then just brought out a knife, and I don't know if they had their wrists tied together, and then and he got him around and stabbed him in the back twice.
They're too young for that.
Twice, by the way, stabbed him twice.
Jeez, he was serious. He or she was serious.
Exactly. And the thing about it wasn't fatal. So I'm like, well, that's good news, I guess. Yeah. But still, like, or maybe whoever they were fighting decided, like, oh, you brought a knife, I'm gonna run. And he's like, no, not today. And then stab. So yeah, so a little stabby, but I mean, as far as I know, everybody lived. Everyone is, I don't say okay, because I'm pretty sure the 15-year-old is in jail, 16-year-old is healing. Yeah. So I mean, it sounded like something that could have gone down in Florida, but it was in good old Sheboygan. I'm like, come on, Sheboygan, get it together.
Well, we're all under so much stress, and just a lot is going on. Not saying this is an excuse or, excusing this type of behavior, but, we're all going a little crazy right now. I feel we are. I
mean, even the kids in school, the babies, and stuff. Yeah, they're out there stressed, and the greasers versus, I don't remember who the greasers were against. Did you read that book or watch the movie?
No. I don't remember their names.
All I remember is the greasers, because that were our protagonists, Ponytail or Pony Boy. Yeah, Pony Boy and the rest of them. But I don't remember who the rival gang was. But I want to think they're like some preppies or something. I don't know. So I'm assuming that's what happened. They're on the wrong side of the tracks. Like, hey, you messed up my shoes, and I don't know. Whatever they're fighting about, but hopefully it's resolved. The beef is squashed. We move on. Live to fight another day, like Pop said on Friday. So yeah.
Right.
But what I'm just happy about is and happy is too strong of a word. I'm okay that it's with knives and not guns, because we've got enough of a gun problem. So not to get political, not to get too serious on here.
It's a good point, though.
It is. That's why I kind of wanted to bring it to some light. Not making light of it, but I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. So
yeah, you don't hear about that much. I mean, because just today we had a bit of a school shooting. I don't know much about it, but it was, so it's definitely a problem.
It is. And I hate how often it's happening, where it's not even like phasing you anymore.
Right. It's not new. I mean, it's news, but it's not like breaking news, because this has never happened or doesn't happen every other week.
Right. And it's not even top news. Like first up, we have a drunk driver who crashed into a tree, and then followed by like I'm just seeing the news stories, and then the next thing would be
school shooting.
Right. So it's also a sign that, and I tweeted this before, like, oh, I guess we're back to normal, because this wasn't happening last year at all. Like, I know nothing was happening last year, but like, okay, yeah, America's back now, because mass shootings every other day. So there we go.
Right.
So
yeah, America
indeed. But let's bring it in a little bit, and because as I mentioned earlier, like I had a few days that was just wild, and you did as well, because we talk pretty much almost every day. So we talked earlier today, and just life is just a lot,
a trip.
a trip. And I felt nothing really just encapsulates. Did I get it?
Yes, encapsulates. But
encapsulates, like having, and I know not everybody can relate to this, but having a 6-year-old run around while you are, I don't know, asleep or just in the other room, but they're running around all day. So Sunday, I get home. Oh, no, it wasn't Sunday. I think it was yesterday, which is Monday. I think, yeah, it was definitely Monday. Sorry. Monday, I get home, and the kid, he had been sick for a while. No, I don't want to say for a while, for a couple of days. So he's actually getting better, and he's good now. He definitely was in great spirits yesterday, where he was just bouncing off the walls, almost literally. Like, he at one point discovered that he can hang from his bedroom door. So like, look, I'm Spider-Man. Right. I know. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I just kind of keep walking, because what do you do?
Yeah.
So, and I think I've reached that level of parenthood where you see that your place is a mess, but there's really not much you want to do about it, because you just are tired. Or can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get to this later. Now is not the time. I just want a glass of water, or I just need something to eat as I step over various toys. Like, he's got all these magnets that used to be on the refrigerator. Like, he had like the map of the country, so all the states. And of course, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts are always clumped together, because like, we don't deserve our own like cutout. Okay, fine, whatever. I don't know where most of them are. Some of them are still on the refrigerator. I think Vermont's still there. Some of them are on the floor. I don't know why. Indiana is right there in front of the refrigerator. So I'm going back and forth right to the kitchen, back to my room or whatever, and having to step over toys, cars, Beyblades, magnets, what have you. And by the end of the day, we're getting, like, okay, it's time to clean up. Like, let's clean up.
Yeah.
We can't leave this mess out. Put your toys away. We'll help you. We'll, pick the chair back up, put the lamp back up. Everything is back where it should be. Clean up that broken glass. We're all good. Everything's good. Some things are still askew, amiss, and we're just exhausted. Me and Ashley, just tired parents from just having this Tasmanian devil just, suddenly in bed now, asleep, hopefully. And we're at the refrigerator as we kind of like look, not even in the refrigerator yet. We just kind of happen to look down, and we see that there's still a magnet on the floor. Indiana is on the floor. And it's just like, this is a moment. Like, our lives are chaos, and you're never going to get all the pieces together to, just to make sense of it all. But sometimes you just take a moment and just breathe. I'm like, okay, we're still here. We're going to make it. Indiana is on the floor, but we'll just pick it up and put it on the refrigerator. It's the lone state on the refrigerator now, because I don't know where all the other states are.
And it doesn't matter at this point.
It doesn't matter. I think the rest of them are in a dump truck in his room, but like, I don't know. We just had a moment just being there. And I also thought, like, hey, this would actually make a good title of a book. I have no idea what that book will be about, but I bring it up because
thriving in chaos.
That's exactly it. Based on the conversation. And I want you to know, I wrote today's show notes before I even texted you today to say, like, hey, good morning. What's going on? I wrote down Indiana is on the floor, not knowing how I was going to work it into today's episode, because I'm like, this is the line that just sums up this weekend for me, because there was so much chaos going on. But I had a moment of clarity, like the both of us, as we just kind of looked down and laughed at it. And we had to say it out loud, because what else can you do? Because Indiana's on the floor. And I'm like, yeah, this good. Yeah. And it was between that or it's penis time.
What? What was that?
Mind you, 6-year-old running around. I was not home for this, but Ashley was. And Ken being in the other room just playing and whatever. And suddenly he has to go pee. So he makes this loud declaration as he runs down the hallway. It's penis time, and runs in the bathroom and pees.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's amazing.
That was also written down on my notes. Wasn't sure if I would talk about it, but here we are.
That's kind of amazing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Bless his heart.
So one of those will be the title, and we will discuss afterwards which one, and now you'll know why. So, because one will be the title for this one, the other one, whatever one we choose to be the title for this episode, will be the title for the Love Blurs episode, when we probably revisit that story, but from her perspective, because she was present for both of these events. I was only present for one of them. I was blessed enough just to get a text message that read, Ken just ran down the hallway saying it's penis time. So I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. So she filled me in later as I filled you in. And so that is also a plug to listen to the Love Blurs podcast, which I think this week I will be putting out 2 episodes. One of them, as Ashley and I discuss all of the episodes of What If. If you have not been watching that show, what are you doing with your life? No judgment, Kortney. But what are you doing? because I know it takes you a little while.
Shut up.
But it's good.
Hey,
it really is very good.
I tried watching, and I'm not saying I didn't like it, but it didn't like grab me.
How far did you get? Like what episode?
Probably 2 episodes, but I saw Black Panther and heard Chadwick's voice. But I did have kids running around at the time, so that could have made an impact on my viewing experience. I at least would want to, rewatch that one, because that was the one that I didn't watch as much. But I mean, I tried it, and it just didn't capture me as much.
I will say to keep going, because I forgot where we fall on Age of Ultron. Well, I mean, I didn't mind it. I don't know how I think you didn't like it. Did you like it?
I didn't like it at first, but I appreciate it more now because of like WandaVision, and it was necessary. And I guess I just didn't like the pacing of it. It was I just didn't love it at first watch.
Okay.
But watching it now, I've grown a little bit, and I appreciate it more now.
Well, what I'll say is the title of episode 8 is What If Ultron Won?
Ooh.
But I will spoil this and this only. These episodes are connected.
Oh, wait. Which episodes? All of them?
All of them.
All of them?
All of them.
All of them. Wow. I thought they were okay.
Yeah, you don't see the connection until episode 7.
Oh.
Because that kind of I think it's 7. I think that's Party Thor, which isn't a spoiler. It's just what if Thor was the only child? He becomes Party Thor. But episode 9 is the big one that I can't even talk to you about, because it's just as someone had I think it was Robert from Twitter said that they stuck the landing when it comes to season finales.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Marvel's pretty good at that. I mean, they've kind of mastered storytelling, but also just wrapping it up pretty neatly in a nice, neat bow.
Right.
They're just good at. I don't know that they're good at art so much, but they're good at storytelling and then like wrapping it up. So
this was all of that. And
okay.
I'll have you. Well, I don't know if you know. Breaking news. Can you give me one more breaking news? Are you aware that Agatha Harkness, Catherine Hahn, is getting her own show?
No. Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
That's fair though. Like that. Of course you should.
I love it.
I had not heard that.
Yes, I also I had kind of discovered it as we're talking about crushes and whatnot, but she definitely became a like, oh wow, I think I like her. Yes, more of her. Yes, so I'm excited about.
I just love Catherine Hahn, period. But this just made my crush for her, skyrocket.
And she deserves, because I mean,
she does.
She did a great job, and if for me, it's worth rewatching one day. There's too much stuff to watch as it is, but one day I'll get back around to watching it, and like, it was Agatha all along.
I know. I want to watch it. I think I started a rewatch of it just to kind of see Agatha at play. I didn't finish that rewatch, but yeah, I just everything about that show is just kind of perfect too.
That one, I do need to rewatch Loki. And by the way, if I do rewatch all of these will come back again on Love Blurs, because Ashley has agreed to watch. Well, she doesn't want to watch WandaVision again. No judgment there either. No judgment. Matter
of fact, it's a hard watch. I mean, it's hard towards the end because I don't know, because she's grieving and it's hard.
It is. That part is difficult. And I think a lot of people didn't know what the show was. Like my parents, they didn't know what it was. And they watched the first 2 episodes. I'm like, what is this? We don't want to watch this. And they didn't go on. And it took my sister and I telling them, like, you need to keep watching it. So they did. And I feel like that's a little bit maybe happening with What If for you. But you also said there was little kids running around. So I get that. So...
yeah, I'll give it another shot because I didn't give it a fair shot with the kiddos around who were not interested. I was like, "Oh, it's a cartoon. Be interested." And they weren't. So,
yeah. I mean, we don't watch it with the kid around because it's too advanced for him.
It's too what?
Too advanced. Like it's too much. Like he doesn't even really watch too many of the Marvel movies themselves. Yeah, aside from like Black Panther.
Yeah.
So. But it's worth watching. And if you've watched it, then do check out the Love Blurs podcast. We will have an episode dedicated to the whole series, because what we do after we watch an episode, we immediately record our reaction to it, and you can go check it out there. And like I said, there'll be some extra stuff. There's already some reviews on the Patreon, so definitely go check that out. And I'm already doing my, I guess, plugs. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. So we'll just jump into anything that you are grateful for. I know that was a hard turn. I'm sorry. But.
I am grateful for pumpkin spice everything. I love me some pumpkin spice. I found a pumpkin spice incense that is really, doing it for me, and it's lit right now, and it gives that great pumpkin spice aroma with a smoky, aftertaste. And it's great. So I'm just really grateful for it. It makes me happy and reminds me of fall, and it's awesome.
Well done. I was thinking about it all day, what I was grateful for, and I had an answer, but it escaped my mind. No. I know, and I'm trying to recall what it was, because it was a thing, but I can't remember what that thing was. I don't know if it was food or something you cook with, or I don't remember. So now I'm just trying to be grateful for something else. I think that was going to also be my plug for other people, just to be grateful for the time that you have and the energy that you have to do what you can. So do what you can. Don't beat yourself too much for not being able to do more. So, give yourself some grace. I think that was probably what I said last time, but it bears repeating because some people forget. Need that little gentle reminder, or an aggressive push. Do better, or not better, but take your time. You have time, which is what my favorite thing ever. That April Rain, when she was on this very podcast and told us that you have time. So
yeah.
So yes.
Yeah.
Till I can remember what that thing is, and I still don't remember. And it was something probably. I feel like it was food related. Probably was. That was the only thing I didn't write down on my notes. So with that said, the last thing is recommendations. Do you have anything you would like to recommend to the good people?
I may have recommended this before, but I can't remember. But I strongly recommend the podcast Therapy for Black Girls. I feel like I have talked about it at least, but definitely want to just re-up that podcast. It's such a great listen. It's hosted by Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, and she oftentimes will have guests on. Sometimes she'll just speak on a specific topic on her own, but it's just really awesome. It is made by Black women for Black women, but of course anyone can gain some insight and just interesting topic discussions if you choose to listen. So I can't recommend it enough. I think that'd be it for today.
Okay. And I don't know if you did it on the podcast, but you definitely told me about it. So I do remember, but I don't know if it was on the pod. But I think I also wanted to recommend a podcast. But no, I feel like what I really want to say is that I cannot wait for Adele's album to come out, which I think would probably be titled 30. Oh my
gosh. Right? Yes.
I recommend checking out any and every article or interview that she is doing currently, because she is revealing truths. She is talking about how she personally feels that she should not have won album of the year, whatever. I think it might have been for 25. Which
I can't remember.
Which, by the way, in my opinion, I love the album 21 more than I like 25 or 19. It's just my opinion. But I'm so ready for 30. Like, I am bursting at the seams. Sorry.
Is that the one, is 25, or you think the one that she said she shouldn't have won album of the year? Is that the one she was up against the Beyonce?
Yes. Like, okay. She felt Beyonce should have won.
Gotcha.
Like, she even said it in her acceptance speech. And just,
right. I was about to say, she was just gushing over Beyonce as her acceptance speech, which I love that for her. But that's interesting that she still kind of holds that, you know.
One of the articles I read said that after she won, she went backstage like to go see her. And then she just like burst into tears and then left the room.
What?
So like, I don't know if it was, I think it might've been Beyonce's like assistants or either hers. I don't know, but they went to go get her back. They cleared out the room. So it was just the two of them. So they were able to just talk or whatever. So I'm like, oh,
who
like
bursted into tears though? Beyonce or Adele?
Oh, Adele burst into tears because she was just so overwhelmed, like, I guess by Beyonce. So
I mean, it's Beyonce.
Yeah, it is true. So like I mean that story kind of got to me because because she is just such a fan and a admirer of her, as she talked about in the article. So that really got me. So that is my recommendation to go find. I don't remember what publication had that story, because sometimes what people do on Twitter, they'll just like kind of what is the word I'm looking for? Crop just pieces of articles and post that. And that was part of what I read. But still, she just seems like a fascinating person just to listen to, because the way she tells stories, she's a great storyteller and great lyricist as well as great singer. And I'm here for it. So yeah, Adele 30, whenever that comes out.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
Where can people find you if they would like to find you, if you want to be found?
I could be perceived this week. So if you should like to perceive me, you can find me on the Twitters at IamKHinton. But you better act fast. I may change my mind about that whole perception thing. So
right. You can be coy and go back into your little shell or something.
Yeah, a little back into the shadows.
Right. Which still amuses me the day that I told you that turtles, they can't leave their shell, and sent you a whole picture. Like, it's like, what? Yes.
Because it's true.
I think I shared that with Ashley too recently. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, they can't, it's not interchangeable. It's part of their body. But anyway, you can find me at all things at Indoob. I do have one of these new fancy bio sites, but I don't have a custom URL that I can share. So it's just Yeah, you can find it on my profile on Twitter and Instagram. Hopefully, and I know I keep saying this, but hopefully I'm going to start using it more often to let you know, like, hey, new episodes of this, and we're doing that, and my wife is selling this, and I'm selling this. So, because yeah, we're a business, man.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, do all that good stuff. Sorry, I thought I had a last little note here, but I do not. You can follow me on all things Indoob. Tell someone you value that you value them. Live without regrets and live for the folks you love. Please wash your legs, face, bottom of your feet, in between your toes, your belly buttons, the undersides of your dishes. Get vaccinated and wear your mask still, please. Mm-hmm. I've been your benevolent host, T. Sterling Watson. Benevolent, not oh my God. I've been your benevolent host, T. Sterling Watson. And remember, I'm not drinking. No, it's just me and this water.
Stone cold sober.
Malevolent. No, whatever. Forget it.
No, now you're
rubbing off on you. Maleficent.
No. No, malevolent.
Malevolent. Parallelogram. Malevolent.
No, malevolent.
Malevolent.
I'm about to fire you.
Malevolent. Say it one more time.
Malevolent.
Malevolent.
Yes.
I am your not malevolent host. Forget it.
Oh, God.
If this world didn't suck, we'd all fall off. Goodness.
I'm not doing it.
I can't either. Oh my God.
Malevolent.
Malevolent.
No, stop. Now you're doing it on purpose.
I'm not.
Okay, repeat after me.
All right.
No, you're not repeating after me.
Okay, I'm sorry. Malevolent.
Ha! You did it.
Yes. Somewhere in there are those extra syllables coming in. I'm not saying it again. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Jeez.
Thanks for listening to the Indoob podcast, which was recorded from the south side of Wakanda in Little New Indubia on the corner of T'Chaka and MLK Drive, and is part of the Indoob network. Want more Indoob? Follow on Instagram and Twitter @Indoob and on Facebook @IndoobPod. You can contact us and send Ask Indoob questions by emailing indoobpod@gmail.com. Want to support or donate? Find the TeePublic store or become a patron on Patreon, where subscribing gives you perks and extra things from the Indoob network. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and share the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, Podbean, and wherever else podcasts are found. And of course, visit Indoob.com for all of this and much more. Thank you so much for letting us entertain, enlighten, and provide an auditory escape with knowledge and nonsense. Until next time.
Use your words, Chief. Good boy.
This has been another 3SFX production. This podcast is brought to you by It Works. What is It Works? It's a Christian-based company that specializes in health and wellness with a variety of products with natural ingredients, including green supplements, keto support, daily skincare, and beauty products, and weight loss solutions. Best known for the Skinny Wrap, Slimming Gummies, and the Skinny Brew Coffee, which I can personally recommend and say it works. If you're looking for improved youthful looking skin, better digestive health, and a stronger immune system, weight loss with internal cleansing and body detoxification, and enhanced focus, mood, and energy, It Works can work for you. Go to ashleyperry.itworks.com and sign up now to become a loyal customer. Take the 90-day challenge and receive a 40% discount. Or, if you're interested in starting your side hustle, join now to become a distributor. Own your time and become a social media influencer working in your PJs right from your phone. Visit ashleyperry.itworks.com and watch It Works work for you today.